to be at the right place at the right time with the right company.
He actually lives in the same county as me. He has
Oh, does he really?
he has a school down here in Pinellas Park.
Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
yeah. I only know that because I've driven past it a couple times, just because it was actually close to a relative's house. So yeah, he's from my area, or currently in my area, because technically
Oh,
he was from
very
Missouri
cool.
before.
Oh, very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. It is. It came up because I saw an advertisement. One of the ad services popped up with things local, and because I bring up a lot of stuff related to wrestling on the internet. It's like, oh, you want to go to a pro wrestling school here in Pinellas Park? Pulled up, it's
Where
Matt
is? I'm
Seidel's.
sorry. Where is Pinellas Park? I apologize.
If you're in Tampa, it's on the across the bridge from Tampa.
Okay. Yep.
If you look at Florida, it looks like a gun. Pinellas Park is in the little trigger area where all the beaches are.
I got you.
I live in the
Okay.
same county, Pinellas County. I don't live in Pinellas Park. I had family that lived there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's along that area. We're surrounded by beaches currently. So
Gotcha. Yeah. No, I not to it sound this is going to sound really bad, but it was a nice experience. It helped turn my life around. WWE sent me to drug and alcohol treatment in Tampa, and I got to know the area really well. It was a really nice place, and so I was kidding.
I
It's
don't
like, it's kind of a weird way to. Oh, I was there. I was in rehab.
right, but how long ago?
But oh God, we're talking 4 years.
4 years ago? Okay,
Yeah, about
so
4 years. Summertime.
it,
It'll be 4 years this year. This
wow.
summer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed a little bit in 4 years, not too much. It's the only reason I asked because someone's like, "Oh yeah, I was down there in 2010." Oh, okay, it looks way different than it did
Way
in 2010.
different. Right. Yeah. It was. Remember Joe Gomez had a sushi on 7th down there in
Uh, dep-
Tampa. What is it called? That strip with all the restaurants and all the bars.
what was it called, Joe? What?
It was a wrestler, Joe Gomez. He had a sushi bar called Sushi on 7th, right there, and I think it was in Clearwater, if I'm not mistaken.
It might be.
Because there's like a strip that everybody like Hogan had like something there, and like it was like a
Oh no
nice
no no!
like a little
This is over near.
the other side kind of.
Yeah yeah. So it's in Tampa. It's near Ybor, where the party areas are.
That's what it was, Ybor City.
Yeah.
Yes, now I got you. I made a mistake with Clearwater. Ybor City. It's so big down there and so many pieces to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going near Ybor, you're going there to party.
Yeah, but it's all become so nice. I love it down there, man. Not for partying, but it's kind of a cool little touristy joint if you want to get good food and
Yeah.
spend some time in the sun. Because I'm older now, I don't party, but it's a cool place. They have good food, and I like it.
And that's what's good about the beaches. There's a lot of because of touristy hotspots. There's a lot of good food places along the
Oh
beaches.
yeah, oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
and of course, there's a lot of places to go in that area in general.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's a nice place to live, man. That's what I tell you. I was thinking of starting to look around in the wrestling business for a gig, because I've always had people come to me in my wrestling career and offer me gigs because that's usually how it works. But
yeah,
the more I start to watch the product and get involved, I was like, I wouldn't mind being a part of like an NXT behind the scenes or
yeah.
something like that. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a year and see what happens. I'd really like to get involved. Maybe NWA. I talked to Billy about that, Billy Corgan, about
Hmm.
possibly doing something, but he wants to have me do a one-off in the ring. So I don't know if I'm ready for that physically, but
Well, I mean that's one way into the NWA, and I don't know where they're based out of currently. I know
I
where
think
NXT
I
is.
think they're shooting out of Nashville now. Last time I talked to Billy, they were shooting out of Nashville because they were in
Okay.
Atlanta for a while. But I could be wrong. It's been a while. Last time I spoke to him, I think it was before Christmas. We're talking a bit.
Yeah, 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 of course. And I mean, I could see it working with NXT and everything, just because a lot of those guys,
Sure.
need
Yeah.
the attention and everything.
Yeah, and I always had a very good, tight relationship with the WWE. I mean, my first contract was in '94,
Yeah.
and it's like I was there for the infancy of a lot of those guys. I mean, I was there before Triple H. Seriously, I was.
Yeah, no, I know.
It was crazy to see where it's evolved, and the amazing job they've all done down there.
And with Triple H, he he's done so well with NXT. He
Yeah,
has a good
he
relationship
really has.
with Regal and everything else.
Yeah, and the reason I said that too was watching the A&E biography special on Sean.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when, and I forgot about this, when he started his wrestling camp. I was ECW Tag Team Champion, and Sean asked me to come down because he had also with the camp he had a TV program on like a Fox affiliate or something on NBC. It's like a small time affiliate,
Right.
but it would air on like Saturdays at a decent time. And he had me go down there. I was one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions with Lance Storm, and he had me go down there and wrestle one of the. I think it was his head trainer at the time, which was Paul Diamond from the Orient Express days in the WWF. That was his head trainer when he used to wrestle them with Marty Jannetty in the late 80s. So I went down there, beat him for the heavyweight title. And then the next week or whatever, I gave the title back to Sean. So I got to spend a week in San Antonio and stayed at Sean's house when he married Rebecca, his current wife, and Daniel Bryan was training, right?
Right.
Spanky was down there. Paul London, I think, was there. Lance, what was Lance Cade, who unfortunately passed away, but he had a little bit of a run in WWE as well. But that was his first class, dude. And he had some, to see Daniel Bryan, right off the rip and as a youngster was amazing.
Right.
He had it from day one, dude. Some people
Oh, I
just
believe it.
have it. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, dude, you're probably as good as I am, and you've been in the business a month.
And it's weird that you come across those, but yeah, I completely believe it.
Oh, it was crazy.
Especially seeing his ability.
Yeah. And it's just so amazing when, a guy like Sean to have a school and just to, the kind of training I could imagine he gives just by talking. He doesn't even have to get in the ring. That's why, like, he has a head trainer to do the physical, but just the stories and the direction is where that's where the real thing is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the like almost like a professor giving a student the lectures. Must have been fucking dope. Can't get that every day. So that's great for the whole story is that must be amazing for the NXT brand to have guys like that like working so close.
I will say for WWE, NXT and probably SmackDown are probably the best two TV shows they got going for them.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. I did finish the NXT from last week, and Santos Escobar and Kushida. I think his name is Kushida. Put on a really good. He could put on a really good match. And Santos, it's weird because like his facial expressions and stuff like that. I want him to stay in NXT only for the reason of I think that if he went to Raw or SmackDown, they would ruin it. But he seems like he'll be a strong person in the industry, kind of like an Andrade in that way.
Yeah. Well, they have a good opportunity right down there, man. The only thing that scares me is their guys are all so good and so much opportunity. But I don't know how you feel, but what do you think guys like Gargano and what's the other guy with the beard?
Ciampa?
Yeah, Tommaso. They've been there so long and at such a high level. But also they're 38 respectively, maybe a little older, maybe a year or two older. Will they ever get a shot at the main roster, or does it even matter? Because I know they don't sell it so much as a training or whatever they call it. They're saying it is a third brand legitimately, right? It's not it's not necessarily what it used to be. I don't buy that.
Well, and apparently they want to launch a fourth show that would be what NXT wasn't.
Would then be developmental.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that'll be in developmental using like the old Evolve brand. But
yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah.
But when it comes to Ciampa flat told them, like he said in interviews, if they try to bring me up to the main roster, I'm retiring the next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Ciampa, I found him watching Ring of Honor back in. It was probably about 2014. I saw him on Ring of Honor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was called the Psycho Killer back then, which you cannot use anymore in WWE. And at the same time, they had in Ring of Honor, they had him, they had War Machine, they had ACH, which he went to the WWE but left, and I can't remember what his name was in WWE. But they had a lot of the guys that are now on, AEW and WWE. SCU was there. The Briscoe brothers were there. Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
Dalton Castle. A bunch of other guys. So I really don't expect Ciampa. Maybe Gargano. Well, Ciampa.
Yeah, I don't know.
Down.
It's hard. It's hard, But because I can't imagine. And again, I don't know. I'm almost asking you the question here. If it is legitimately a third brand, and they are so damn good, and they have carried that company for a long time, are they making the money? Because it's all when you hit the biggest thing about the main roster is the WrestleMania moment. The money that also that moment means, because I don't think people really understand the pay structure, and if they do, cool. If not, I doubt it though, because it's very strange. And I know things change, but the WrestleMania payoff is the biggest payoff of the year. You get paid per your spot on the card. They basically take all the ticket sales, all the revenue that they get from the event, and they go down the event, and opening match gets opening match pay, whatever the house was, etc. Pay-per-view buys. Main event obviously gets the most. They divvy it up with the network. Now the network with Peacock, all that money. Live Gate would be the only way to kind of make those numbers up, but now with the pandemic and stuff, the last one was good. But you're really, I'd love to see what those structures are financially for these guys. But also, would they be pissed off that they got stuck on the NXT pay grade and never got the opportunity to make that Raw, WrestleMania, or Smack? You know what I mean? Those WrestleMania spots. Because there are times where WrestleMania payoffs are in the million, $1 million per performer, I mean, that's not a joke. And I'm just curious, like, these athletes, would they be okay with that? You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to know what they actually make.
So what I know from the past is back in when it first started, NXT performers would get $30,000 a year, and they would get like bonuses for takeovers. I don't know if that's any more what it is, because NXT has grown to be a main draw compared to the other shows.
Sure.
Like there's plenty of people I know that only watch NXT. They don't pay attention to the other shows.
Yes.
So I would like to think that based on that, and between Gargano, Cross, Ciampa, and the other main stars, that they probably get a pretty good pay now because of how it's grown as a brand.
Gotcha.
I guess that's optimistic on my part. I haven't talked to anyone from NXT at all.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But I really would hope that they do that and treat them right, because they are a major part of WWE now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just, I would just be curious because, some of those Raw, like, learning that, Shawn sometimes would get $750,000. Taker would get $1 million. I don't know what Austin used to get, but I'm talking high numbers. I remember I did the opening match for WrestleMania 17, and I got $25,000. That's a nice piece of change. For an opening match, and so I was just wondering, like, after a while, being that they worked at such a higher level than I did, you know what I mean, on such a big stage, would they be professionally okay with it from a business perspective, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'm just be curious, because they deserve so much, because they've done so much for the brand.
I would expect them to get paid pretty well.
I hope so.
Based on that, and because you have the transition in cost now, and and how much it was, and how much they make now, or how much the money is worth now.
Sure.
Well, what match were you in on WrestleMania 17? It's blanking on me right now.
It was the first match. It was considered on Heat. It was me and X-Pac and Albert, but he was just managing us. The X Factor against Brian Christopher and what's his name? The karate guy. No, not Scotty. Scotty was injured. It was supposed to be Scotty.
Funaki?
No, Steve Blackman.
Okay.
Karate guy. Remember Steve Blackman?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was us four. We won with the double super kick.